I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no official minutes to go over tonight. We'll catch up with all of that. I have nothing to speak about. Anybody, any members? All right, we'll let Max take it away.
All right. So the goal for today is to hopefully do one last notes for the comp plan. Because if there's no other significant changes, we can try and get this off to the state for their review. So hopefully for the last time we will do a quick run through, starting with the comp plan part 1.
Are we gonna look at the maps also?
We can look at, we can look at the maps now, or we can look at them later.
What if we just check and see if, can anybody else have any edits or questions
Yeah.
anywhere? And rather than go through any page to page, just
Yeah.
ask if they got any.
I've got quite a few.
Well, why don't you start then?
All
Maybe
right.
we have duplicates.
Well, first thing I've marked was public out.
Where are
Under
This
page
is
5.
Page, thank you.
It refers to Appendix A. There are no appendix, but Max just told me they're coming.
for the survey.
So we can go past that. On page 9, I have a suggestion. The first place as far as I can tell, page 9 is the first place where we wrote CEO, which we all know as Codes Enforcement Officer. But most people will think of that as a chairman or chief
Right.
executive officer. I would like to have it on there with, when the first time you put it there, put CEO and then write it out, Codes Enforcement Officer.
Just to spell it out.
Yeah, but it shows up many more times after that. But I think the first time we need to tell people what it means.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Before you move on, can I do something on page 8?
9,
Right, before you keep going, can I do something on page 8?
yes.
Are you going to be changing the page breaks so that these headers are on the top of pages and not the bottom of pages? And it's like on page 8, historic and archaeological resources, section 3 is sort of at the bottom of
Yes.
the page.
I haven't really been focusing on the formatting for these right now, just because everyone always makes a slight change. And then
Right.
it has to be done, so-
I just thought I'd ask. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
My next one is all the way over on section 1, page 1.
I'm just wondering, can we go in order or go by, because I mean, I've got some that are.
Yeah, we're gonna go by the sections.
So how about if Paul goes through his, in case there are duplicates, we'll know we have a duplicate.
Okay,
And
okay, fair enough.
then you or Sean will go that way.
Okay.
Okay, so we're,
1-1,
Page 1-1, I would like to suggest that I'm trying to put it in context here. 2 transformative events. The Brunswick Naval Air Station closed and experienced families moving away during 2010. In 2020, the state of Maine experienced an influx of new residents, but I would like to tell them why. And that is right after in 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the state of Maine experienced an influx of new residents. 5 years from now, if somebody reads this, they're not going to understand what was really going on.
okay?
If any of these I bring up, if people don't like them, say so.
I think we
So
would,
just say in 2020, during the COVID pandemic,
Yeah.
or as a result of the COVID pandemic.
I like
I
during.
think
During,
during,
okay.
yeah, is there any other
All right.
other reasons?
All right.
next one's on 2-1. I don't know what I meant by it. There was a sentence in that top paragraph, West Bath is projected to accommodate the increase in population and demographics noted in the population section of this comprehensive plan. I think there's, I don't remember what I think I wanted to say section 1.
Can we have a date, can we have a page number there?
Or a reference to which section that was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yeah,
that's-
it is section 1, that's what I,
section 1,
noted in the population section 1 of this comprehensive plan. My next one is on 5-1, section 5, page 1. And it's in that top paragraph, right around where the second references to BIW. BIW currently has 6,789 employees, is currently seeking to create at least another 1,000 jobs. And then the next sentence starts, BIW is still investment.
Yeah.
That's not,
Investing in.
should be investing in free training and providing job support in the region.
Good catch.
And you have that
I
one.
have that one, yeah, and job support, I said to the region, but I guess it's getting picky.
I'm not wedded to that idea.
That's good.
All right, if you turn over to page 5.3, there's just a format problem in that table that I'd like you to correct. On page 5.3, table 5.1, down there on the left column, other services except public, you need to close that up. It's
Space.
right here.
Oh, this bit, yeah.
that all of your,
Is that something you want to hear about, that kind of spacing thing, or do you think you'll see it?
It's justified in the tables, I'll just,
table shouldn't be justified like that, because they don't read well then.
Well, that one, I couldn't read it sensibly. I had to go back 3 times to figure out what was going on. But I'm slow, so,
so I'll just make a general note to unjustify all the
Right.
tables.
well, at least the columns. Okay, now we're going to section 6.1, and I got a number of things in here. Under the second paragraph, page 6.1, forestry. And this harvestable timber is contained within one of the 10 large material blocks of woodland within characteristically small lots. West Bath open space landowners have characteristically allowed. And if you read that paragraph more, you've got characteristically coming up over and over again. I don't think we need that word over and over again. I crossed out the second one, and then down in the like the third line up from the bottom of that paragraph, the town's characteristically small lot landowners.
That's good.
I just deleted those 2 characteristics. I just thought they were.
Should that be West Bath open space landowners? In that paragraph? The second sentence says West Bath open space, it's on the forestry. Or tree growth.
It just says open space. So
Yeah, I think I see what you're talking about.
It seems like it should be tree growth, not open space.
Yeah, that's true growth, that's a good catch.
I didn't catch that. Thank you.
So it's in that second sentence? What-
Yeah,
what
West Bath
is gonna be called tree,
True growth.
tree growth.
tree growth.
I mean, that same page, under the heading Timber Harvest as defined by Maine Department of Agriculture. Selection harvesting is a method of harvesting in which the individual trees or small groups of trees, I want it to say large trees. It needs to say large trees are removed to allow regeneration, to allow has to be added, regeneration of new seedlings. And it only says to regenerate new seedlings, to allow regeneration of new seedlings. You don't cut trees to just regenerate new trees. That by opening it up and getting sunlight on it, it allows the new trees to seed in and grow.
Okay.
Down in the last paragraph, I think there needs to be a parentheses on the second line of that last paragraph on 6.1. Acceptable growing stock, first parentheses, trees greater than 4 or 5 inches in diameter breast height, close parentheses, a DBH, close parentheses, less than 30 square feet per acre. The way it's written, that acceptable growing stock is defined as trees greater than 4.5 inches of diameter at breast height, DBH. Less than 30 square feet per acre. I think that needs to be in parentheses. If you don't agree, we'll...
What needs to be in parentheses, which part?
The part starting after growing stock, you have your first parentheses. Trees greater than 4.5 inches of diameter, breast height, DBH, close parentheses.
Right, except it,
Does that make sense to you?
yeah,
So like dash DVH, I mean, so it's just one set of parentheses, otherwise you have two.
Doesn't
So
matter,
you
two's fine.
can't, you
Two's
can't
fine.
have two, you could have two different types if you
Yeah,
want.
the diameter of breast height is DBH.
Right, but you just
That's
say-
what it's referred to. In forestry lingo, we don't say it all out, we just say, what's the DBH?
Use brackets instead of parentheses for the DBH. Yeah.
That's okay.
You can do brackets, but yeah, just a format.
Okay, and we turn the page, I've got a real problem with what's going on here. And I want to hand out this to everybody. I'm gonna get one for Paul.
Oh, thank you.
And actually, Christine probably needs one too.
I got it.
You could have mine when I'm done.
In this table, I've got it written on here. In this table, if you look down the left column, you've got these sections of years. The first one, 92 to 95, is 4 years. The next one's 5 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 years. And then we have single years. And you get a total, and you divide by 9, which is weighting the single years the same as 5-year groups.
Right.
If you, the total is right, but if you divide it by 6, and you sum those 6 years, the answer to the first columns, the acres of selection harvest, is not 163, it's 245. And that's the more accurate number. Now, the fact that you've got some sections at 4 years and some at 5 years, I'm willing to let that slide.
Is it important to have the average? I feel it's important to have
That's
the
up to
average.
you.
I mean, you could leave it the way it is and get rid of the average, and then it wouldn't be mathematically odd.
That would be a simple way to fix it. It's up to the committee.
Just a thought. I see what you're saying, yeah, it's kinda,
It's
It's a big time period
It's
for
big,
those
right.
totals. I mean,
What's the simplest way to,
simplest way to do it is just to delete the average column
act?
and
I mean-
have the totals.
is the state looking for an average?
No, this is just the table, this is the table as I was given it to them. Like, that's, it. I asked them
Yeah.
specifically, you have this weird thing where it's broken into chunks, and then you have the individual years, can I get something different? And they said, no.
Who's saying
The
this?
state,
The state.
the state, because they probably don't have the numbers in
individual years.
individual
Yeah, but
years there,
that's
so-
a meaningless average.
Yeah.
Then
It
we
is,
get rid of the
so-
average.
Just eliminate the
Yeah,
average.
just
then.
eliminate
Delete the
that.
average.
Yeah.
Delete the average line, the suggestion.
That's good, that's,
All right.
Same page. I'm in forestry, I get involved with this one.
There you go, Bob.
Yeah.
I already got it.
You got
I
yours.
got mine. It's not the table anymore.
In that paragraph, about 1, 2, 3 whole lines up, the line starts, the enormous paper company holdings. I would like you to change paper company to wood products company holdings. Because almost all of these, quote, paper companies also have sawmills, also have plywood plants, also do pellet manufacturing, also harvest poles and pilings, and they do make paper.
So it's mostly wood products.
But it's heavily wood products.
how often does that come out, is it
So change,
That's just that one
just that
place.
one time?
change paper companies to wood products.
Yes.
Yes. Because paper is a wood product too, so
It's a
it includes everything.
general, yeah.
Okay, in that last full line, I crossed out such. Family farm in West Bath or elsewhere would continue to have such a difficult time. I just think a difficult time.
Yes.
Such a-
Yeah,
No need to emote.
So get rid of as such.
Just
No,
have
just
such,
such.
Such.
To have a
to have a
difficult time.
difficult time. So I
such as
could,
it is.
I could really tell you about the trees telling you that in 2019 that number is wrong for the change of land use acres. Since I put 22 acres into tree growth that year.
Excuse me, I was really trying to,
This is another
Never
different
mind.
state. No. This is official from the state.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wrote tree growth up in that top paragraph of the next page, and I don't know why, so let's not hang out there, I'll cross it out. Because tree growth is mentioned, is one of the, tree growth has forestry. Our farmland, open space, and tree growth forestry. Down in the next paragraph, on 6-3, the third line, this is just a minor editorial, there's also a vegetable garden at the West Bath School.
Is it the, well, I think it's just West Bath School.
At West Bath School for students. It doesn't say where it is, there's also a vegetable garden, West Bath School for students, it needs to be at the West Bath School for students. And they eat the products too.
Yep.
We don't need that in there. On 6-4, I'm just editing the last 2 lines on page 6-4. You've got something there too.
Yeah, it's kind of, just kind of, well, yeah, go ahead.
In the next to last line, the state of Maine, I put a period before that asterisk or star. And then started the next sentence. Recently, the Kennebec Valley Land Trust has started initiatives to purchase and preserve forest lands to tie into Lily Pond Reserve. The way it was written didn't really, to me, explain it clearly.
You have a word after Lily
Yeah,
Pond.
I'm not-
Preserve, Lily Pond, tie into Lily Pond, it's Lily Pond Preserve, I think.
Is it preserved?
I'll look it up.
I've heard it referred that way, but I don't know.
I'm not missing it. Oh, the very last one, okay. And it's Kennebec Estuary Land Trust, not Valley.
Oh,
And back what?
That's a
Estuary,
good catch.
estuary.
that's a good catch. We're done forestry, so my my numbers get very slim from here on. On section 7, page 1, we're talking about drinking water and wells. In general, the groundwater quality of West Bath is considered good and its volume adequate. I wanted to put a period there. Now, before we agree to that, I wanted to then cross out, however, there are locations where deeper wells are necessary to achieve the needed volume and quality. That's already been mentioned earlier in that paragraph. Relies on drilled wells for drinking water.
Yeah.
In the middle of that paragraph, it says, from wells drilled in bedrock that are usually relative low yields, and sometimes wells must be drilled to depths of several hundred feet to obtain adequate yields. So that phrase I'm crossing out is really redundant of what's already stated in that paragraph.
So where does the deletion start?
Starts after the volume adequate, period. And then it goes to the end of that sentence. Starting with however.
Okay.
There are,
Delete after that?
however, there are, the words deleted will be, however, there are locations where deeper wells are necessary to achieve the needed volume and quality, period. That should be deleted. Then it goes on, starts the next sentence, the town of West Bath understands. That's fine. That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
So remove the however there are deeper wells part of the sentence.
Right.
That from there to the period,
Yes.
delete, because you just described it like 4 lines above that.
Okay.
When you're done, I've got something.
Do you mind if we just have, is it where we're at right now, or is this the Lily Pond item?
I looked up Lily Pond, it is Lily Pond Preserve, and there's 3 L's in Lily.
Okay.
It's just a correction.
Alright.
So it is Lily Pond Preserve, Lilly.
Yep. All right.
Good catch.
We have a Lily Pond mentioned other places? Maybe just check the spelling on that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, it calls it Lily Pond Community Forest, but then it calls it Lily Pond Preserve, spanning back and like that.
All right, good.
So,
We'll go with that.
on the main trail finder.
All right, I'm almost done. Bear with me. This next. I'm on page 914. This may not be that important. It's just a little grammar thing. In the last paragraph on 914, the last sentence of that paragraph starts, finally, while several ventilation systems were upgrades were completed. I think the first word, were, W-E-R-E, needs to be deleted, where it reads, finally,
Yeah.
while several ventilation system upgrades were completed by using American Rescue Plan, da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Okay, the next one, I got a lot of problems with the formatting, and I'll just tell you, on page 10.6, where this table starts at the bottom, I think it should start at the top, because when it ends, you have the footnotes to that,
That's part of the formatting.
and I'll let you straighten that out, because you know that's not right. The last one is a little more serious. And this is on 11.1.
Is this replacing a paragraph?
This is the two paragraphs in the middle of page 11-1.
The one that 12 starts Route 12, or Route 1.
US Route 1, and both of those paragraphs. I got so confused trying to read that. I took a stab at rewriting it, that's what I've handed to you. You can take it, Max, and see if you think it includes everything we need to include.
By saying arterial 4-lane,
Think about it.
is that important to say it that way?
Yeah.
Where?
In the first line where you've changed it, is the principal arterial 4-lane?
Yes. That's part of the definitions up here. It was in what he wrote, or we wrote.
Oh, okay, so it's referring to that first.
Can we take the access out on the first line? The first,
You can change this any way you want. This is my attempt to, I read those two paragraphs and I couldn't follow it. It was confusing me. Because you start with US Route 1 serves as the principal 4-lane access to West Bath
That's a freeway.
for intercommunity travel. And then the next paragraph starts, US Route 1 serves as the principal arterial and is included in the national highway system. So what I tried to do is put those two thoughts in one place. And you guys look at this, read those two paragraphs, look at this, see if it makes more sense, or change what I've written. I don't hold it to be sacred. I just think what's written is that what we had in this draft was not very good. It's a whole lot of explanation of classifications of roads and whether they're state aid or not, and or federally controlled,
And it repeats a couple times.
and it repeats a couple times. When I first started changing things because I thought it was redundant, and then I realized that it was partially redundant, but it was bringing in another thought.
Will that paragraph work, Max?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, this isn't really a state item that we're changing, it's whatever just seems a lot easier for people to read.
Yep.
Was the idea that we were trying to convey
Did you know?
how the roads were paid for?
You got one of these? Yeah.
Now, this section is just road classification, but are you talking about?
Right, well, it's road classification and maintenance responsibility, so was that part of it was to discern whether it was a state paid for a road for maintenance or a town paid for a road for maintenance, and is that in your paragraph?
That is in the paragraph. Like, for instance, the former US Route 1, now called State Road, is the secondary inter-community access in West Bath and is a federal aid collector.
Right.
State Road and the southern end of New Meadows Road serve as principal commercial arterials in West Bath. Foster Point Road, Berries Mill Road, Campbell Pond Road function as internal arterials for the improvement of general traffic, for the movement of general traffic throughout West Bath and are state aid collector roadways. Local roads, which are the most of West Bath roads, have multiple entrance egress points to adjacent properties and have minor mobility function.
So I think the only thing missing is saying that the local roads are paid for by town funds.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only thing missing.
Yeah.
can you put that on the end, and are paid for by town funds?
Well, and then that would be in the next paragraph where, not your thing, but later on, like halfway down
It
the
says-
paragraph we have,
Oh, okay.
it's talking about.
Yeah, it's in that last paragraph.
Alright, so, okay, I had it covered by this thing.
So what, anybody thoughts on the, using this paragraph?
I vote for Bob's
We
paragraph.
should put Campbell's,
Yeah, that's different in different places, it keeps
Yeah, it
coming
needs
up.
to
You
be
gotta get
Campbell's
consistent.
throughout.
can you,
And also on the maps.
can you spell check that?
It is Campbell's with the
Campbell's,
apostrophe.
yeah.
Campbell's
That's
with
what
an
I thought,
with an
because it's-
apostrophe.
Berries
It keeps
Mill is
changing.
with
If you
an
Google it, I
apostrophe.
think it's Campbell.
It's Campbell apostrophe S, that's the correct name. That works. Just as long as it's
It's the same,
consistent
just
throughout.
make it, yeah.
The maps, there's no apostrophe, but,
Campbell's Pond
That
Road.
I think I Googled it and it's Campbell.
yeah, but the Google is incorrect.
It's not always correct.
It's whatever the town recognizes
Campbell's.
I've always Campbell's.
With it,
Yes.
as
yeah.
Campbell's Pond
Campbell's
Road with
Pond
an
Road,
apostrophe,
correct.
yes.
What does the tax plan say?
Well, let them go with
Campbell's.
Campbell's.
And so what I'm doing is taking away, what's the second and third paragraphs in this road classification maintenance responsibility and replacing it with this, correct?
Yes.
That's my suggestion. If any-
Which paragraphs?
Second and third
All right.
under road classification.
Just a question, the terms that you're using don't match this road classification map?
Well, I got them from the description up above.
Okay, so maybe that's a,
Principal arterial, minor arterial, collector roads.
right,
It's,
Yeah.
I'm not arguing, I'm just saying it doesn't match the map, so the
The
map
map-
needs
the
to
map
be
would be
changed?
Updated, yes.
Okay.
All right,
I had,
One more?
I have just one other minor suggestion on 11.2. That big paragraph under access management. The very last sentence. That starts on the next to the last line. There is no new allowed access from US 1. And I put comma in West Bath.
That might not be true, but they're petitioning the DOT to get access at the top of the hill from the,
Well, currently.
Currently, there is none,
It's not the time
there's
we're writing
no,
this.
it won't be a public
right,
access.
it's limited
It
access.
won't be a public access at top
No,
of Richmond
it's
Hill.
limited access, yes.
Very limited.
There is,
There's no,
It just says there's no new allowed access from US Route 1, period. But I was trying to say, to constrain it to
that it's
in West Bath.
yes, yeah. I agree with that.
so it doesn't need currently. Which is-
No, no.
in West Bath,
Mhm.
okay?
I'm done. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for the updates.
Hey, good stuff, Bob, good stuff.
Good catches.
You made more than I. Good job.
Your effort paid off.
All right, who wants to speak?
I
Do you have any
got, some of
comment?
my stuff's pretty, is sort of picky detailed, so, I mean, I can try to find what I've done. We'll see what, as we go along, but, so I'll go next?
Yep.
So just going back to the beginning on page 4. It's the second sentence on the introduction. For nearly 2 years, the committee has met, and isn't it been on a twice monthly basis? Has met twice on a monthly basis. I don't,
You want to move the on to?
On a
twice monthly,
basis.
isn't that what we've strived to do?
Or
Yeah.
twice
Yes.
each month or something.
Yeah,
Whatever, it's not twice,
Yeah.
not twice on a monthly basis anyway.
okay.
At the end of that, oh, sorry,
Hang on.
So what is it now being changed to?
has met on a twice monthly, just moving twice.
Twice
to
monthly,
in front of monthly.
on a twice monthly basis.
Yes.
Okay.
And then under volunteer participation, some of this is gonna be just grammar, but then following individuals who have met regularly, not that. On page 5, under public outreach, the second bullet point that states there are several adequate locations for residents to access the water/New Meadows River. I was gonna, do we really wanna leave adequate, because there've been so many discussions around the parking issues, I was gonna strike adequate.
Good idea, I think.
Right. Can we stay there a minute, and up on the top of that, on the vision of West Bath, can we change the very first sentence read, West Bath is committed to maintaining the features that attracted residents to migrate, and can we change stay to live in the area?
This is on page 7, under the green section about population and housing. And I wasn't very specific about how to change it, but it didn't seem there was anything that addressed, under objectives and policies, it seems that it's all focused on elderly. I just didn't know if maybe there should be some mention about the school age or working population. I should have been a little more suggestive about it and maybe bullet point, but I mean, there's affordable housing, so that's one of them, but I was wondering if just, you know, not being specific enough about adding a suggested line, but certainly affordable housing. I think I just want to make sure the objectives and policies are covering all aspects of the population, because it doesn't really address school
Even
age.
the first one,
Let's see.
explore ways.
Under the goals? Or
No, objectives and
increase
policies.
housing, I mean, that's certainly there.
And number 5, workforce housing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it covers.
You think it covers it enough?
And talked about private development of a variety of housing options. That's pretty broad coverage there.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, that's good then. Okay, this is Bob's. Have my mark as carefully as Bob, so. This is also on page 14, under a green section. And I was, under critical natural and water resource section 7, I was going to propose to add a line that just said provide public education regarding the protection of critical natural and water resources.
You gonna add a 9?
Yeah.
Reread it again.
Provide public education regarding the protection of critical natural and water resources.
Provide public education.
Regarding the protection of critical natural and water resources.
That's one of the objectives or goals.
Yeah, something close to that's one of the implementation actions also.
Okay, on page 20, there was just the spacing issue that's similar in other places. On the very last paragraph of ongoing. So waste reduction, there's a big gap. It's all that line, just needs to be closed up.
Then we straighten out,
Yeah.
those gaps.
Yep, okay. On page 21, under ongoing for section 9, explore options for having local services conducted regionally so they are more cost effective. I guess I was wondering, is that select board, is that also the town administrator? Or no? That was the question I had.
Well, it would be. I was gonna make a suggestion about that. I don't believe town administrator should appear anywhere under responsibility, because I work at the discretion of the select board.
They tell
So
you
I
what to do.
think instead of making it confusing by putting both,
Take it away?
yeah,
And
I would
everywhere.
remove town administrator everywhere and put select board.
Okay.
Under public services or throughout the entire section?
Anywhere under responsibility.
Well, there's somewhere you're the only one mentioned.
I know, I don't feel that's appropriate. I'll leave it to the committee, but.
So change that to select board.
Well, I
Because,
guess I disagree with that, because the select board doesn't, they may task you, but they don't do the actual work of doing it.
well, that's the issue, they might not task me with it. They might task the committee, and they might task another official.
But I don't think that that's true for every single thing in the
No, of
book.
course it's not
I don't
true
think
for
a
everything.
blanket strike.
But
the town
I think
administrator
having
works.
both makes it confusing. That's my view.
Well,
Is there a place that a sentence or a paragraph could,
I mean,
Well, it is explained under,
is it?
Under the public services section.
yes.
And this book is not law or policy, so
No,
I
I mean,
don't know how much it's really that critical.
You know, and on page 20, that first one, you're the only one that's mentioned. On that bottom one. for instance. And there may be others.
and-
yeah, and
And her point is that the select board may want to assign that to a committee.
Right.
because that, for example, isn't something I would normally do.
Oh, that's important to know.
Well, they can still assign it to a committee. I mean, that's their
Right.
prerogative. But I think
That's why I think it should say select board.
in general, though, I think having the dual designation
Is it straight?
diversifies the power centers a little bit.
Like up on the one right above the green box on that page 20, long-term, seek funding through grants, blah, blah, blah. Select board, town meeting, and town administrator. Select board may propose it, the town meeting may approve it, you're gonna end up writing it. The
And
grant.
looking for the
Sometimes,
grants,
Probably.
you know,
that's-
So, do you have to put
That's
that
why I
aside?
think you should be here on some of these, or that, the job.
I think it should either be just select board or both.
Well, this one's both.
I know, but it feels like we're picking and
So if-
choosing where we
if-
put both.
If we just go through this section, on any section, and where it says select board, add administrator, where it says administrator, add select board.
I'm fine with that. I think that's cleaner.
It
Because it
shows,
feels like we're
it shows-
choosing.
Yeah.
it shows some responsibility in both parties.
Yes, exactly.
Let's do it that way.
Right,
Just having a single responsive body is not,
Is that all set next?
okay, so that's,
Darlene,
Okay.
you all right with that?
Like, on page 21, the second one is just select board.
Well, with
So now-
the actual changes going forward, so we.
That's, that'll have town administrator.
All right.
on page 21, under 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the first short term. Consider methods for monitoring the improper disposal of waste that should be recycled, such as appliances tossed in the woods. And I just had a question, is that improper or is it illegal?
It's your.
well, it's illegal.
I mean, I was gonna say, if it is, then, I mean.
Let's call it
Let's
illegal.
call it illegal, because that's
There
not,
you go, it's
Just
illegal,
improper.
not proper.
All right.
sorry.
Someone always being
That's strong,
soft-handed with
right?
it.
Good one.
Wow. That's awesome.
How like it is.
That's good. It's telling it the way it is, huh?
Illegal, immoral, and just wrong.
Okay, I know you all, on page 23, the investment committee's been explained multiple times, but I'm just gonna ask this again. Is it the role of the investment committee to work to maintain West Bath's status as a debt-free community? Does that fall to your, seems like that,
I think we would,
you would endorse?
enjoy striving towards that aim.
Okay. That was the question.
What would you say, Bob?
Yeah.
On 1, 2, under education, the source was Maine State Economist, West Bath School, and then it's the estimated enrollment. I just was curious what year that was. Do we know what year that was?
Where is that, Leah?
Sorry, page 1, 2, 1-2. School population demographics.
Not this year.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
22, 23.
So I'd ask
Yeah,
that, could you put the
to
dates
write it
in?
in there.
All right.
And then on 1.3, with household income, is that referencing the table 1.3? Because that was confusing to me until I started looking for it. But I was just gonna ask to put that in parentheses afterwards if that's. Under household income, the title, I mean, the contents of that next paragraph, and because some of it's because the tables are on the next page. But there's table 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. And this may be more of a formatting thing that it would be more clear, for example.
So would you move the household income on top of table 1-3?
Or at least put parentheses after household income, because I think it's mostly referring to table 1.3.
It is pretty much referring to the second section. Like 63,335, that's referenced in table 2-5 in the next section.
Right, something we just makes it more clear, I guess. Whether it goes, if the tables are all gonna stay together, I just would put the parentheses after.
Before
household income.
you go on to another section on 1.1, on the beginning paragraph, I think it should read the following data provided through the 2020 census in state of Maine highlights the most recent trends, the most recent population and demographic trends that might impact future municipal services.
Do you wanna read it one more time?
So get rid of 2 after main.
And this is the top of the page?
Yeah, on the back down on the second one.
Okay, yeah.
Here.
The following data provided through the 2020 census and state of Maine highlight the most recent. The most recent population and demographics.
Demographic trends. The trends goes there.
Yeah, trends I think is already in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then on 2.2 and MSHA, I don't know if that's Maine State Housing Authority?
Yes.
Okay, is that identified elsewhere that may be, oh, it is, never mind. I don't know, maybe it's in that first paragraph, I'm just seeing that, so maybe MSHA, that may be fair enough.
Where do you say?
On 2.1, it says, it's written out as Maine State
Oh,
Housing
okay.
Authority, but it's not, a parentheses after that might be MSHA, because then it's referred to as MSHA in the second paragraph on 2.2.
In the front of the document, should we not have a section of showing what the coding, the codes are? We should have that.
Abbreviations?
Abbreviations, yeah.
I don't,
I don't think
I
we
don't-
need it,
I
it's
don't think
throughout.
I think it's better when it pops up to
Yeah.
reference it.
Reference that one.
They don't have to flip.
Well, I know, but if it is someplace again, way back here, and I don't remember what it is, it helps to be able to go to that.
If you were gonna do it, that'd be an appendix somewhere.
But I think for the most part, it's covered in the sections.
Okay.
On 2.5, under analysis issues, where it says families find the mill rate in West Bath, I didn't know if maybe it should be property owners, residents, and not necessarily the word families.
Yeah.
Wasn't either of those to me.
Property owners.
Yeah, because that could be,
It could be anybody.
People,
People are probably better.
people is probably more generic.
Taxpayers.
They're the ones who know where your place to.
I'll switch it to people unless there's a huge objection to that.
I don't know, people find.
Taxpayers. What do you think?
Yeah, the only people who are concerned about the mill rate are taxpayers, property taxpayers.
Who aren't residents?
Some people
That's
have
our
residents.
property.
Oh my goodness.
No, they aren't. I just put down taxpayers.
Taxpayers?
That covers everybody from businesses to some residents to whoever else, renters.
So the 7 people that read this have to be done along there.
I find it okay because the whole thing is, the whole statement is about the mill rate, which is the basis for the tax.
All right.
Somebody's open for 257. For two, the last sentence, there is no formal mechanism for acquiring potential recreational sites except applying for grants. So I was gonna add S to site and say accept and delete for.
So what's the change?
Last sentence.
Last sentence, there is no formal mechanism for acquiring potential recreational sites, adding an S, except, and then deleting the word
The
for.
first four.
All right.
Okay, and then on 5.1, under the last sentence in the first paragraph, BOW also provides employment in design and office. Is that naval design, or does that matter? In design and office related facilities in general?
I think it's fine.
Design.
Okay. And then just a wording change. While the second largest employer in the region, Brunswick Naval Air Station, BNAS, was officially decommissioned to the New Life. I was gonna just shorten it. New Life came to the site,
That's the
as
mid-coast.
the Mid-Coast Regional.
That was, I had the close to the,
Yeah, by the mid-coast, not as the mid-coast.
Has come to the site as Mid-Coast Regional, yeah, there.
By the mid-coast.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. On 5.2, it's Occupational Health Associates, which is under within West Bath. Associates is not association, Occupational Health Associates. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth bullet point. And under 5.5, I'm still a little confused about the destroyer program at BOW, where it's the 1, 2, 3rd paragraph, expanded the Aegis destroyer contract. Is that Arleigh Burke? I thought it was always referred to as Arleigh Burke.
Oh, that's,
Is that a different one?
we need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I think I just want to make sure what we put in there is correct and not.
I'll look it up. They just got new contracts. It should be in the paper.
Yeah, the contract was Farley Burks.
I think it's Arleigh Burke, that's all.
Whether that's under the Aegis program,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Sorry, I just wasn't.
I'll look it up.
All right.
What we do is we expand the Arleigh Burke program, so that is true at least.
Okay, these were Bob's, okay. Right, unfortunately, that was all,
That was my
that was
mess.
you, no mess, that was good. On 7.2, the main inland fish and wildlife and Maine Wildlife Society have instead of has resources.
Where is it?
Vernal pools, it's that standalone sentence. On 7.3, I think I wanted to be sure, because the creeks are mentioned at different times. There's Winnegans Creek, Mill Creek. Are those all discrete bodies, so that when you say creek, is that clear what that's referencing?
I guess so.
It is, okay.
Arleigh Burke. It's really weird to spell, so there you go.
So Aegis Destroyer will be Arleigh Burke contract.
Okay.
The Arleigh Burke class destroyers. Burke dash class. According to this.
Arleigh Burke dash class destroyer contract.
Mm-hmm. You just got 3 more of them.
On 7.4, let's see, I think it's the second sentence. In the core of the program is the habitat-based landscape approach, and I was just going to say the core of the program is a habitat-based landscape approach to assessing wildlife and plant conservation priorities and opportunities. Just delete that in, make it a capital T. It's the second sentence, second paragraph, second sentence.
Second paragraph, okay.
Make that the core
Like in the
program
middle.
is the
The
habitat
core of the
best.
program is the, yeah, I didn't understand, yeah, because the wording didn't make sense to me. In the core of the program,
Right here. Just take in and out.
take in and out, yeah. The program has mapped information through different areas to assist, and then take out the next sentence. The program has mapped information in 3 different areas to assist communities. Take out the word "the."
Okay.
7.9, the 3rd paragraph, I think there's a duplicate sentence.
7-9.
Yes. So
Whereabouts?
the paragraph begins with West Bath Shoreline Zone restricts the type.
Okay.
And in the middle of there's a sentence that starts, buildings are restricted from the 100-year floodway of streams and lakes. Then there's a sentence that the types and designs of buildings to raise them above the 100-year floodway of streams and lakes, which just quits. So I think that deletes.
Yeah, that's
There's 2 of them.
repeated.
Yeah,
So the first one I think needs to go.
Just go
because
away,
The second
'cause
one
the second one
continues on.
is a full sentence. So, the types and designs of buildings to raise them above the 100-year floodway, parentheses, the area beyond the types and designs, floodway receives standing water during a 100-year flood. I don't know, it's a funny sentence, so it's just long. The types and designs of buildings to raise them above the 100-year floodway, the area beyond the floodway that receives standing water during a 100-year flood, comma. Eliminate also, reduces human and property risk during, it's just a funny,
But it is also.
also reduces human and property. Is that sentence okay?
I'm not following, but that's okay, figure it out.
Well,
Combine
the
it.
types and design, one of this is just doesn't, it's not a complete sentence.
Can
The
you
types
take,
and designs of buildings to raise them above the 100 year.
can you take out the sentence that starts with the types of and designs of building? Take that sentence out. Would it hurt, you think?
Yeah,
No, doesn't hurt to remove it.
No, what if you moved it to the end? I don't know why it's in the middle. So the types and design of buildings.
Well, you gotta repeat it again. The next sentence has the type and design of buildings.
Right, here I took it out.
Yeah,
The first one
Yeah.
out.
the first one's out.
I know, but it's in there.
This next sentence just it's long.
The types and designs of buildings to raise them above the 100-year floodway.
And then it defines what
It
the
also
100-year floodway
reduces human and I don't know if we need to define it.
Reduces
can we
human
take that
property risk during
parentheses out?
floods, period. How about a period after floods? And then you can make that next part a full sentence somehow if you want.
I think it also too many times.
Yeah, it's just,
If we took out the stuff in the parentheses and the comma, and then it also reduces human and property risk during floods and helps maintain wildlife corridors along streams instead of but also. Take the but also out. And put and in there.
And take out the also.
I said take out but also. Right, or you mean a different also? You ain't catching that.
Yep, remove the parentheses items and get rid of the but also in place of the and.
I think that's better, right? What do you guys think?
How is it read
I think it's better.
So how's it read then? The types and design of buildings
To raise them above.
to raise them above 100-year floodway also reduces human and property risk during floods and helps maintain wildlife corridors along streams.
Great, thank you. On 8.2, I guess the third line, do we want far and wide into market?
Where?
Far
Where
and wide.
are you?
Third sentence, or third sentence.
Which paragraph?
First paragraph?
First paragraph, yes. To then consolidate these, harvest, clean large batches of clams, depuration, and to market them far and wide. And market them widely. I think you should be picky wording.
Oh, the whole thing is, there is not much decoration going on in West Bath at all.
Is that right?
There's no decoration right now. That was,
This
20
is-
years
so
ago,
This is
they-
from the old, I mean, this, yeah,
yeah, that was 20 years ago, they decorated the Meadows Lake.
should that be just removed?
I don't think we need it.
Just remove that sentence,
Well, the last,
or just remove the clean.
But they aren't large commercial companies either, are they?
no,
I mean, we don't have large commercial companies, it's people out there in their boat on the lake.
I mean,
I don't know, this, the only, there are no large companies operating in West Bath. There is no decoration going on in West Bath. That was in here from earlier.
Right,
Or you can leave the first part of the sentence, even though, just say, commercial companies have become more active in the Mid-Coast region.
But they have.
Resources to well,
No, they aren't.
and then
It's nothing to do with West Bath, huh? We need that whole
Should
paragraph.
the whole thing come out?
no, that's what you had in the last comp plan, and
That's-
it's not a state required item.
No, I say we,
If it's changed that much, yeah.
we
But it
mentioned,
has changed dramatically.
we mentioned, you know, agriculture, oyster farms, like other places. I don't think we need this paragraph.
yeah,
Oh, take it all out?
but do you remove shellfish harvesting altogether?
This is just commercial, this is just that one paragraph for commercial shellfish harvesting.
I
Well,
don't
there
think,
is commercial shellfish harvesting, it's just
Why not by
big
companies?
companies.
Yeah.
People do harvest the shellfish
that's mentioned.
commercially.
Yeah.
then you can just leave, under that title, you could just leave the last sentence.
The growing
There's
trend of
growing
land-based
trend.
agriculture.
Right.
Yeah. There is a growing trend.
There is not a growing trend in West Bath of land-based facilities.
Of aquaculture,
How about just take out land-based and just say growing trend of aquaculture facilities?
facilities that have required proximity to coastal waters for either
I
satisfying.
think you can't
See,
say
that whole
doesn't either.
sentence doesn't
Doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense, okay, gotcha.
Alright, so we just
Just-
get rid of all of it.
Yep.
Just strike it.
I'd say strike it.
I guess that leads me to the last paragraph, only a few potential shoreline, under potential water access, only a few potential shoreline locations were identified. It just seems odd to me to look back at the 1995 town comp plan. And I don't know if this was referenced again in 2006, it just seems kind of remote.
If you say a few potential locations were identified as feasible for prime sites.
Yeah, I don't know if you referenced it.
And just drop that out, take it out. Just
Well, if it
like-
was identified in the 1995 town comp plan, that's accurate.
Well,
It's not
yeah,
inaccurate,
no,
it's not inaccurate.
Yeah, I didn't go searching through the 2006 one to see if
The
that was still there,
2006 one said go to the 1995.
and that referred to that one.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, it's fine to leave it, I just. On 8.3, is there a definition of auxiliary sailboats? Is that a commonly used term? I've never heard that. And that's the second paragraph under navigability, third line. Code, the size and configuration of these waters are such that the upper New Meadows, Back Cove, and Mill Cove are navigable by pleasure boats, auxiliary sailboats, and small coastal.
Second
boats.
paragraph.
First paragraph.
Sorry, first paragraph under navigability, apologize.
now, I'm not sure, just scratch it.
I just think it's
Probably
sailboats.
just leave it as
So,
Or
Sailboats.
small sailboats?
Just sailboats.
yeah,
Sailboats, yeah.
everyone's idea of small is different.
Yeah.
And they go big lengths to say that.
Okay.
On 8.4, on the top, first sentence, top one, a recent ruling, I was just gonna ask if, because that was 2022. The 2022 ruling by the Maine Supreme Court reaffirmed that the lower intertidal lands are privately owned.
So you want to put the date in?
Yeah, I think whenever, rather than just put,
Would that be actual date? That was the year, 2022?
yeah, I mean, I Googled it, that just came out, it was just, I mean, there was a month, and I don't remember, I think it was April, but I just thought, yeah, 2022.
On that same page, under main resources, the third paragraph down, water quality for fishing and particularly shellfish must meet a higher standard than general, period. Take out the next standard.
Where are you?
On the marine resources,
Second.
starting water quality,
Oh, okay, so second paragraph.
the second paragraph there.
Must, go ahead and say it again.
Can we take out the second standards, the last standard in that sentence? Water quality for fish and particularly shellfish must meet a higher standard than general.
Then general what?
Standards.
But I don't know what general standards mean. That doesn't mean anything to me.
I think, you gotta have something in it.
That doesn't, I don't understand what that means. I don't know what the general standards
State
are.
standards, state drinking water standards,
Then general state standards,
I would think. State drinking water standards,
we
yeah.
need to define, find out if that's what it is.
Well, just, how would just put, as Darlene said, then general state water quality standards, something like that.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And on 9.1, under public facilities and services, at the time of writing this comprehensive plan, and I just didn't know whether we couldn't put the year in as we're doing it. We're gonna say 2023, we don't do it.
I'd rather we just leave it at the
Okay.
time of this writing.
Okay. The second, under boards and committees, the second line, The members of the select board and the school board of directors are the only positions in West Bath that require election by the residents instead of being elected.
Say that again, it's spoken.
Just substituting, instead of being elected, I just thought that sounded funny, just that require election by the residents.
Well, it says require being elected.
Being elected. Do you prefer that wording?
Well, what are you changing?
She wants to
Election.
require.
Election,
Election
require
by the residents.
election.
Oh, okay.
Required election by the residents.
Mm-hmm.
And then on 9.7, the second paragraph, and I just have a question, it says, to maintain the long-term productivity of the resource, shellfish harvesters should continue putting conservation time into their flats. Is that commonly understood?
I feel that's been talked about multiple times, right?
Multiple times, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. And 9.11, under trends, the third paragraph, the following results are from the public outreach survey that was conducted instead of released in 2022. Then on 9.12, the third paragraph, the last sentence. Well set out regional cooperation protocols known and practiced in advance by the Mid-Coast participating municipalities will likely not only save money for West Bath, but also potentially save lives and reduce injury during emergencies. And I was just going to say when they arise, because they will.
Which one's this, 912?
Yeah,
Just
The bottom of that.
9/12,
Third
third say when
paragraph.
they arise. Instead of
When.
if they, it's when they arise.
And then took out number 2, right?
Yeah, when they arise
Ever.
instead of if they ever.
right. And then on 9.13, I thought we changed the wording about the third paragraph under education. Second sentence, where tucked between Bath and Brunswick, the school serves.
Oh yeah, I was
At
located
least we said located instead
instead
of
of
tucked
tucked.
sounded kind of.
Yeah.
And on 9.14, the last paragraph next to the last line, it's actually the last sentence. Finally, while several ventilation systems, there's an extra word. Let's see, finally, while several ventilation
Yeah.
systems.
We already got that
Oh,
one.
that-
Did that.
sorry, that's
Yep.
fine. That's not even a different item. Okay, I think that actually covers myself, sorry.
Thank
That was
you.
long. Terrific.
No, important.
The final phase, you gotta make corrections, so makes it a better read.
Good effort, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the report?
You have the maps?
No, I'm just saying the report itself.
Oh,
Some math
sorry.
questions?
Yep,
Yep, maps.
I do actually. And now my order is all messed up. There we go. So like this first, the development potential one, is there any way to get roads, or at least the major roads on here, so we can kind of get a reference of where we are?
Okay.
Not like, see like these are double lines, but maybe,
Just the color at least? Like a distinct, like black line that runs through it?
yeah, like just these just the major single ones. And I don't know if you need all these extra arterials, but, cause like I can't really tell from here where the highway goes.
Just
Yeah.
the town
I mean,
roads.
if you
So,
use,
Just
like
the town and
yellow,
state roads.
where the
Yeah.
oh yeah, you
state
can go in
road,
white maybe?
or yellow,
Yeah, so we
yellow.
have for contrast, like
Yeah, not black.
but not private roads.
Yellow line.
Yeah, either yellow or white. Something that will stand out.
I'll probably suggest white to her, just because white's already the border.
Yeah.
Well, that's why yellow might be more effective.
Well, that's fine,
because it-
I'm fine with the yellow line, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I'm gonna suggest to her.
yeah,
Okay?
And then the road classification one, you're gonna update that based on the language in the road classification section, right?
Yes.
Because these were a little bit off. And then,
Which one are you on now?
sorry, the road classification,
Okay,
when we were going through that portion of the book, the terms are different in the book than on the map, so the map needs to be updated.
I think it's just a freeway, that's the one thing that.
Well, but this coming through here is even,
That's the major.
major collector, but I think, I don't know.
That's
I think it was, they were talking about arterials, not collectors, I don't know, just have to check that, I guess. I didn't have that much up. And then park and ride lot. Is that a private or a public one?
Can I see where you're?
Park and ride lot, this one in Bath. That's
I-
actually not like a park and
Is
ride.
that
it's a-
What
It's a
one?
VFW park and ride.
Yeah.
So if you're labeling those, and we have one right here on State Road.
Yeah, that's the one beside,
VIP.
yeah, VIP and.
Right.
Where,
Is there an address for that, or?
Cruise is not a public park and ride.
Neither is the one next to VIP. So that was my question, is this a public park and ride, or is this, what is
I
that?
don't think I don't care what Bath is, but I don't think we should have a private businesses park and ride in West Bath listed.
I'll see if the parking right can be removed, because I think that's, we're just gonna get in this back and forth of one being in there and one not.
Yeah, we just take it out.
well, that's in Bath, not West Bath.
Right,
Well, you check with the state and go for what they say.
Well, this is just,
no, this was.
this is just the data that we've
Hancock
got
map.
from, yeah.
I don't think we need a public businesses, a private businesses
I would agree.
listed as a park
Yeah,
and
so
ride.
To take it out.
we'll try and get that one,
All right,
okay?
And I don't understand too why we have double lines on this one and all the other ones are single.
Because people were saying they wanted double lines with these future land use map. To
Okay.
make them much more distinct.
Which map are
Which
you
map?
talking
This
about?
The land,
Future land
this
use
one,
map.
the future land, it just looks different from all the others.
I can make the double, we can go back to double
Do
lines,
you want
just
double
make
line or do you
us,
want single
and
line?
make it a,
I think on both, they make sense, both of them, either way.
I kinda like the double lines,
So
actually.
there's more lines on this.
It gets messy and cluttered when you get into things that have lots of colors on them for different things, so double lines, but.
so
This one shows all of the roads like the road that I live on, which is really a private road. I mean, that's on here too.
The one
Or
that's on,
this other one doesn't.
this one
Correct.
is just the public roads.
Right, I'm not saying take the roads off, I'm saying instead of having a
Make them
double
single,
line, make them single line.
make them single.
Because I mean, these lines, in order to show up at that scale, are probably 200 feet wide.
Yeah, you're right,
So it's not really
Right.
very accurate anyway,
you're right.
as far as that goes, because of just the way that you have to do it with the scaling of the map.
And you might put a notice on this map that some of these roads
our
are
private.
private roads.
Well, this is for the land use, it doesn't really
Doesn't
have
matter.
anything to do with
All
roads.
right.
No.
Okay.
The road shoulder type, like this no shoulder is really thin. I think if it was a thicker line, it might show up, because see, I think it's this one here, right? And you really can't see that.
Maybe change it to a black line?
Which one is that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, the road shoulder type, well, no, I just think it has to be thick. It's like halfway to the others,
Okay.
and could be.
Maybe make it black or something.
Well, the problem with black is that it's the same color as all the edge of the product.
Oh, right.
So you're
The outline.
referring to Foster's Point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Foster's Point and part of, Mountain Road. Is that Mountain?
And Sabino.
And Sabino, so you can't really see them very well.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then there's Sabino down here.
So I'll say,
Maybe thicker and a little darker,
Maybe a
but
different
maybe not
color.
black.
Make them green,
maybe blue?
green, make them green.
Little
The whole thing is green.
Not if it's a dark green.
We have to be very specific and say dark green.
Sorry.
Or, you know, like a
Hunter green.
hunter green.
Which is what's on the next one, average daily traffic.
Right, so this green pops, but that's because the town is gray, where here the town is green.
Right.
Any other considerations?
Max is not looking happy.
Hold on there.
I'm going-
Hold on,
I'm
everybody go
typing
through
all
the
this stuff
words.
out.
That's what I'm asking,
I mean-
that's what I'm asking.
All right,
Roll number.
average daily traffic. It's fine, I've got like 3 different thicknesses of the same color, but they're different enough. Is this up to 1,000?
Yeah.
0 to 1,000, is this 1,000 to 2,500?
Yes, yeah, 0, 1,000, 1,000, 25, 25, 5, yeah.
Can they change this so it has a range instead of just a number? So the first one would be 0 to 1,000, then 1,000 to
Tennessee Road
1,500.
doesn't have 1,000 cars per day,
Up to.
up to.
On a busy day.
And then these are the habitat maps.
That's my trash.
Yeah, the maps that we get from the state, I can't really do anything.
Right, no.
So this one you can't do with color? It's hard to see.
It should have been in color, but I was not able to print in color. I think because of the files that she sent. I couldn't figure out how to print in color.
Oh, it's weird.
So-
I'll get it on there.
Are these gonna be 11 by 17 and then put in the books and folded?
Yes.
Because this is not 11 by 17, this is legal paper, that's why it's fitting on here weird.
I just printed them on smaller paper. They're gonna be 11 by 17.
Yeah, okay. Curious. And this one is supposed to be 12.
Yep.
And then what is this? This is infrastructure. Airports and cemeteries.
What the heck is this one?
And this one's not all printed right, we don't have all of this map.
Where is that one?
I don't know.
It looks like it became too big. Because,
Probably, this is how it.
you know, because this is where I live right now, and I live right on the edge of the
Right.
boundaries.
Watersheds,
Okay, so we don't have all of the town though.
that probably prints item, I do have
So
that
it's
map.
supposed to come up
Yes.
to here?
Yeah, that would be addressed in the actual 11 by 17.
So this is a DEP map, this isn't one that you
So
did.
we just cut off half
Right.
of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. See how wide this is, if this was a normal size, we'd be able to see.
And I pull it up.
Oh, so it's really supposed to be printed this way?
Yeah.
It'll be enlarged, it'll be enlarged.
Okay, so it's just twisted. Yeah, the maps look really good
Just need those,
from before, this is
those edits, just.
a few little things, yeah. I was just really trying to look at this development potential one and couldn't figure out exactly where
What
it
roads?
was. Yeah,
I still want to know where the airport is down at the end of
It's
the
a helicopter pad down there,
it's a helicopter pad.
Really?
Yep.
Which one?
Where?
in the Foster's Point.
Yeah,
Let's see.
and the Fox's Point.
Private,
Where my thumb is.
it's private.
Yeah, whether it's private or public,
That's what I
DOT's gonna
mean.
have that record.
You won't see it because you can't get out of private property.
Right.
Any other noted changes to the report? The final draft?
Final draft with the amendments.
The amendments.
I have a lot of it, but you come to them all.
Good answers.
Any more than I have?
No, that was good.
Okay, so going forward, Max,
Going forward with the questions I was asking just before we started was, the survey and what you wanted, whether you wanted a more minimalistic one, or you do want to see like the charts and colors and everyone's comments in there. Do you want me to try and get the little projector up so people can see it, or do people right now have an idea of minimalism charts?
I'd say put them up.
It'll take a sec. In terms of the rest of the timeline, if people are, these are the notes people have, what I can do is, once these changes have been made, I can just send this off to the state then, so they can start their review. And if people are seeing some minor technical or grammatical changes, the state's not gonna give us another 2 months. We'll just, when we get the state's notes, then we're gonna make that 3-month change, or we'll make them after those 3 months. But really, we just wanna start sending the state all the content.
Hang on a second, Christine's gonna hit the lights.
Yeah, I just got on blurry it. Okay, so those are just all my notes. Let's pull up. So this right here is what Appleton is putting together, and they're getting to you guys. I'm trying to get them to send this off to the state as well. So you see the chart just to show the yes, the no, other, a summary right underneath it, and then any additional comments people have for that question. And that's what it is throughout the entire thing. I think this is about 92 pages.
How many?
92 pages. And this is
Just the survey?
yes, this is their results that I'm having as their Appendix B.
I don't want
They
that.
want the whole thing in there, like,
They're putting it in. They're putting. Well, keep in mind they have 182 responses, and people have a lot of comments to make. And we'd have something very similar to this, a nice little introductory thing, just saying, you know, this was all sent out in May, similar to what we have in the introduction section, and then we get into the questions.
Is there any way that we could have this placed on the town
Website.
site and have a note in here for telling people,
That's-
maybe a copy of
That's
what the
another-
questionnaires were and refer them for the answers to the site?
That's another option as well. Rather than me saying it, well, I was just gonna say that is another option, rather than saying Appendix B, just say, refer to the town website, you leave up the comprehensive plans committee's part on the website and just have survey results. That's what Appleton's also doing, right? If you Google the Appleton comp plan survey results, you're gonna see this on their website.
I think it makes more sense to put them on the website.
Yes.
So don't do Appendix B,
Yeah,
just put it on
no.
the website?
Right,
Note some, in there somewhere that information on the surveys and
Okay.
I mean,
comments.
we've got tables in there that
Right.
we referred, we don't have personal comments, but we have tables in
But
there.
if someone wants more information, they can go to the website and get it.
Right.
what
I
about
don't
having some
want-
paper copies
And give
in
the
the office?
complete- and give the complete URL so that they don't have to go look for it.
Okay. Well, I was also going to just say, go to the comp plan section on the town
Mhm.
website.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because sometimes the URLs get defunct, if I miss one period, it's
okay,
all
fine.
ruined. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna suggest having some paper copies, that they would be available in the town office as well.
Well, I think,
what it was?
I think if somebody wants it, they can print something out, but it's not.
Yeah, you can say refer to the website or information available at the
Or
town
information,
office.
I just think, yeah, not everybody is gonna go print up 100, you know.
No, I don't think.
Right.
And
Okay.
there's still people that don't.
So I won't include this in the comp plan itself, but in terms of the presentation, what I am putting together, do you still want something similar to this where you will get your chart, you'll get the summary, and then you get all the comments? Or it would just be the more minimalistic one, I'm not showing the charts, but it would just show the numbers, and then I can add the comments underneath it.
I like that.
Yeah.
And the comments are under there?
Yeah, for example,
Comments are in the
I mean,
comments.
that's,
and in some cases where it's fill in the blank, what road do you live on? People just kept putting it down there, so I'm just giving a tally of how many people are in alphabetical order. What's an example? Yeah, what is your occupation? It would just put down all the comments that people gave, rather than me going through every single one.
Why would you want, you're talking about your presentation that you're gonna do to the town?
No, this is what would go into your this would have gone into your comprehensive plan, but these are all your survey results. This is what people responded to.
So I guess I'm confused, because you said in my presentation.
My comp plan presentation,
You're not presenting it anywhere.
I'm not really, like, I'll present the stuff to the select board so they
Okay,
can then
alright.
put it to the town
I mean,
meeting.
it's not like we had like a town meeting that you were gonna present it, so I was just confused. Alright.
No, I'm hoping that, kind of like what you did earlier, you're gonna show the last one, how big that is, how big this one is, and say, can we move on? That's why I'm hoping.
I like that for,
Yeah, the comments would just be where I'm saying insert all answers, and it's just what people wrote down.
okay.
And if people said any bad words, I'd probably change the word to something a little more nicer. So, minimalist one,
I like that.
Yeah,
and
Without the charts, though, you're saying.
yeah,
I wouldn't have the charts. It would just have the numbers.
and it's on the town website.
It would be on the town website.
Because basically, this really is information that we use to write the plan, so.
Right. And so in this comp plan, that'll just be another note I'm making. Rather than Appendix B, or whenever I'm talking about the survey, people need to go to the town website.
yes.
So
Okay.
Appendix A is the. are the
Appendix A
maps.
will be the maps, yeah.
I thought we discussed early on that we wanted the maps in the section that they referred to, or that they were discussed in.
We could get rid of Appendix A for maps if people wanted to, and just have the maps at the end of each section. I just wanted to have all the maps into one thing, so if people are looking for the maps rather than going back to the sections, they just know it's all with the maps.
I would find
And it's
it,
fine either way.
here's my preference, unless it's too difficult for you or Christine or whoever, to have it where it's referenced in the report.
So just have the map in the section that it's supposed to be.
Individual sections.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that.
We
It
agree.
would just be at the end of the section then.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't we agree on that earlier?
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's why I was confused why we had an Appendix A. I think
Okay,
that was like first or second day,
Okay,
okay, so,
so it was a while
So-
ago, Max.
so no appendixes.
Yep.
It'll just be the section itself, maps will be at the end, and the surveys on the website.
that works.
Okay, good.
All right, so in that case, I'll make those changes and
Let's